Hello everyone, this is Alex, Diaper Alex from PaddEx.ca. Today I want to talk more about the jumping harnesses, give some interesting features, and talk about different materials and options and add-ons that can be put to customize your perfect jumping harness. And also some important informations about what to do, what not to do, what to bring better comfort, especially for male. I got comments about that. I listen to people's and I try to improve my jumping harnesses the most I can. And there's also some technology in it somehow. So in some ways, I mean, that needs to be explained. So there are limits for the jumping harnesses, especially for fully grown adults. So here we go. This is one of the jumping harness that I made in airplane edition. This one has a 2-inch wide buckle that locks with a key, and it comes with a carabiner now. And this one has a special label at the front, and I'm going to talk more about the different labels that are available. This jumping harness comes like the mitts. The strap here adjustment is backwards under it, and the reason is simple. If you put anything that locks here and you pull like regular straps you see on life jackets, for example, what's going to happen? You're going to be able just to loosen up this way, and in fact, what's the point of having a locking buckle if you're able to loosen up? So this way, the way it's made, even if you try, there's no way that this is going to get loose. And it's even harder if you have mitts on, of course. So this comes with a 2-inch wide Velcro that can be white or can be black. And when you pull on the Velcros, make sure that you don't grab this part here or fancier part under it. Just grab a part of the Velcro and gently pull on both sides. For larger sizes, this one is a standard one. It comes in size that goes up to waist 42, depending if you're wearing padding, a diaper, or no diaper. For larger sizes, these wings can be much longer, and the straps, I'm pretty confident they have been tested that those 2-inch straps is first quality from Oregon, USA. They don't have any problems. They're very strong, but like everything on the market, they're gonna get old, and you're gonna make sure that at some point you do some visual inspections to make sure that it's still safe to use. It can crack and can dry after a couple of years, depends on what you do. Depends if it's in the sun, it's in the heat, it's in the salty air. Many reasons why straps can be worn out faster than it should. I don't think you can see this way, but jumping harnesses comes with one main area that you hang the suspension bar here, and you have the second adjustment here, which is the end of the strap that can be used as well. So you have a good 6 inches at least of gap for adjustment for the height without having to touch the suspension bar. So super easy. So interior of all my jumping harnesses are made of nylon 420D, which means they are waterproof. They're good quality. Not much to say about this, but it's soft, it's comfortable, and it's sufficient. And in case of any leaking in the jumper, you can easily wash the outside. The inside, I mean. This part is more fancier depending on what the peoples want. This one is fabric, and it needs to be washed by hand. Never put any of the jumpers into the washing machine, and absolutely not in the dryer, because this will obviously mess up all the padding inside, and you can damage most of the components that are plastic. They're good quality, but they're not made for high heat. So that said, let's make a tour of possibilities that I offer. So the jumper comes with, you can add a small label. It's about 1 inch by 3 inches. I got different options. So here you can see you have the special little boy, handmade for a special little boy, for someone special, made with love for baby, handmade for a special little girl, and I got French ones as well. It says fait avec amour pour bébé, for an adorable baby from English, and fait avec soin pour un amour d'enfant. The front strap comes with 4 different possibilities. By default, I put these so that they don't auto locks, so you can easily just remove the key and it's not going to lock. And I got the new version that needs 3-finger release. This is what I call the 3-finger release. Just wait to see if I can find a way to. No. Well, the way it works, 1 finger, 2, 3, and there you go. And when it locks, these parts are not going to unbuckle unlike regular ones, unless you use the 3rd finger. So this is an interesting option if you don't want to lose the key or bother with that. You got the non-locking one in black, and you got a special edition of the white one. All these 4 buckles are 2 inches wide to fit for the straps. So I'm looking right now to make one. I'm trying to find those magnetic ones in 2 inches. That will be neat on the jumping harnesses, like I do for the mitts. But for the moment, they don't exist. So eventually, I'm working on that, and I'll see if I can eventually offer this. There's a new interesting feature that I make. Is the small teddy bears that rattles. You can put it on each side if you want. This is an option, and the way it works, I put every rattles myself inside of them, and they're handmade. So I think it's a cool feature. And let's talk about the suspension bars. This is why the packages are very heavy. So you've got Paw Patrol Team Edition of jumping harness. So this is very strong, solid bar that is good up to 1,200 pounds of dead weight. What it means is you can easily, according to manufacturer, put up to 1,200 pounds safely. But don't forget, if you are 300 pounds, 400 pounds and more, the suspension bar might not be adapted for more weight when you are bouncing. That makes a huge difference. So these are the biggest ones I can make for the moment, and they're just perfect. Everything is padded inside of it here, in case that some incident happened in the rigging process, how you put the suspension, bungee cords or springs or whatever you're going to use to adapt to your environment. If it breaks, this is going to hit your skull. So this is padded here and here, but mostly you're going to have this part here hit your head first. This one is double padded. It doesn't mean that you're going to not get hurt, but you're not going to end up with bad injuries, and hopefully it doesn't happen, because I've made my own tests when I was younger until I found the perfect way to make it, and yeah, I learned the hard way. Talking about the shipping, it comes with plastic envelopes like this, with a special mention: do not use blades to open. I know that some people are impatient to open their new parcel, and using a knife is really not a good idea. So I'm avoiding to ship with those big, huge boxes, cardboards that takes more space, and you have to get rid of those. And this is the most ergonomic way to ship. So when you have one, you just wait for, well, this one is not an envelope for the jumping harnesses. They're much bigger, and I use two layers of envelopes, and the jumper itself will be wrapped into a clear plastic bag. So unless there's something going really wrong during the shipping process, they're not going to be wet, they're not going to be damaged, and hopefully they're not going to be crushed as well. So, as I wanted to mention multiple times, the thing is, this harness is what I made, what I guarantee. And these are the suspension bars that it usually matches with the jumping harness. That ensures that the jumper is going to be stable and much easier to install on and off without removing it. But every houses are different, and every setups are different. Every people are having a different weight. So here it's a standard 8-foot tall ceiling, and I have access to the attic. So this part is my setup for the indoor, and I'm not using any stud finder to. It's not going to be strong enough. The structure needed to be reinforced. But this is for a house made in the 70s. Pretty standard, nothing big, and it had to be modified in the attic to make sure that it was stable and strong. And if you see, you might recognize these structures. Might not be red, but mine here at home is red, and this one is a 9.5 foot tall. Right now it's in babies in a swing mode, but you can see at the top that there's bungee cords that are right there ready to be linked together, so it becomes a jumping harness. And it's really better having much taller ceiling or structures like this. So this is my setup. This is how I made mine, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same way for yours. I've seen very creative people making very interesting setups, and I'm very proud of what I see, and proud of the work I do. Of course, these are handmade, so I try to make them perfect. And most important for me is safety first, and I test them individually. And if anything goes wrong or I'm not satisfied myself, I'm not gonna ship it, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time spent doing it. This is not a machine. This is not factory made massive production, because each one are different. Each one are made with heart, love, and needs special materials depending on what you want. And imperfections still happen. I try to minimize them, but these types of material, better view on this one. These types of material are really tricky to work with, because it's pre-quilted here. It's double quilted back to back with a mild layer of padding between. And when you cut all the edges, all the stitches are going to undo, but it's not a big deal. It's not a problem. It's just aesthetical. Like right here, don't know if you can see, there's none, because I have made sure that everything is sealed up properly and everything is working all together. But sometimes I'm trying to find any imperfection, just to say this one has no imperfection. Oh, there it goes. If you see something like this, I don't know if you can see it well. Okay, you see right here, there's no thread. It's because I cut it here, and it doesn't change anything for the structure, or it's not going to go more this way, because this is aesthetical. It's not going to destroy the jumping harness or be dangerous or get worn out faster. So these imperfections are considered to be normal. I try to minimize them, but we never know. Some types of fabric might be more trickier to work with, and this one is the most popular one. And of course, I'm super proud to put the logo so the people can have a reference of where to buy these. They used to be on eBay when I started. I want to clear that, make things clear that I'm going to post list the things on eBay just for personal stuff I sell. And PaddEx.ca is the only place where you can buy my jumping harnesses, the bandanas, the bibs, the body harnesses, the chair harnesses. I'm gonna make videos about that soon. All the products that are handmade are made with love, and I do my best. And my team is enlarging. I need to teach the team how to do the things in my vision. We're not gonna cut corners, and I want to make sure that the peoples are gonna be happy. Customers will be happy. People's in the conventions areas using the jumping harnesses or using any material that are made available for some conventions internationally now, I can say. I want to hear positive comments. I want to see smiles. I'm very open to suggestions, and I want to pinpoint to suggestions that have been made pretty frequently. People ask me, is there a way to make it more comfortable because it crushes my balls? The answer is yes and no. I'm gonna explain. The wider you make these crotch area, this is about 5 to 6 inches wide. If you look at your own crotch, okay, I'm not gonna make it too I don't know how to do it, but see, it's much smaller, narrower. Even if you're skinnier than I am, you're never gonna be that large crotch area. So if I add more material on each side, straps needs to go somewhere. You're an adult, we are the weight we are, and to get free movements for the legs and stay in a standing up position, and have free hands here that you don't have to hold on something, anything, so you can actually really bounce like what the real, well, the 2, 3, 6 months or up to 2 years old babies, and then real jolly jumpers for babies. Their weight is right there. It's distributed here, but a baby, of course, is 30 pounds, up to 30-40 pounds maybe. So the pressure is never going to be the same like an adult, and adults are much taller, which means that the bloodstream distribution is much different and much harder, and you might also have some health issues going on that you are aware of, or if you're not aware, maybe you know it. But if I go larger, what's going to happen is that here we have major arteries that goes for bloodstream for the legs. Well, I'm not a doctor, but I know that the larger you go, worse it's going to get, and blood circulation is going to be compromised in your legs. So this is going to cause serious issues. So it can't be larger than this for standing and keeping that original position that I'm looking for. This is the best way to have a perfectly aligned jumping movement. And lots of people ask me if there's a way to put a seat at the back to support the butt, so it release some pressure here. I've made my tests, several tests. It works, but trying to jump in a standing position, it's a mess. It's not going to work. It's not going to be aligned the way it's supposed to. You're going to bounce this way, this way, this way, pretty much more like swing than a jumper. And this is not what I want. I'm going to make new products eventually for adapted swings. This is coming for 2025, and this is the way, and this is that explains why this area here takes most of the weight. And the padding, yes, it is super padded, so it's a big 2 inches of first quality padding, but it still has, no matter what I'm going to use, even if I put 4 inches, it's going to crush at some point, and body weight has to be distributed somewhere at some point. So what I suggest first for males, considering the position that you are sitting, you're standing in it, anatomically, I don't know how to say it the politically correct way, but let's do it like that. Your private parts here are mostly between your legs, and if you're going to sit on your private parts, it's never going to be comfortable. Even if you add a foot of what you find for adding some extra weight, extra padding to distribute and get more comfortable, it's not going to work. So for males, it is really important, exceptionally, if you're wearing a diaper, that you do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Instead of pointing it down, it needs to be pointing up, and you need to pull temporarily, just to make sure that when you're gonna jump in the jumper, you're not going to, jump on your private parts. So this part is very important to mention. And if you still have discomfort, yes, you can have thicker diapers, add stuffers, you can add maybe a small cushion here. It depends on the person's, it's pretty much, a jumper is pretty much like riding a bicycle for the first time. You're gonna have a sore butt for a couple of days for the first time. So the more you do, the more you get accustomed and you find your comfort zone, and your perfect fit. So it's pretty much the same thing. And I've heard people saying, asking for a way to make more accessible for the diaper here. This is a request that I cannot do because for the security, these straps need to go somewhere, and to make the harness fancy the way I do it, I'm not going to put the stress on the material itself. So the straps is no big secret. There's 4 inches of strap going here, and it ensures that it's not going to break on the inside. So this is one thing for position, for comfort. I know I'm forgetting something, I always do. So that's pretty much what I have to say for the jumper. And if you have any questions, any comments, just send me a note on PaddEx.ca. You can see me on social networks. I'm mainly now only on Diaper Boys, FetLife, Tumblr, Twitter, X, and Instagram. I've reduced to the minimum because I want to concentrate on making more products and make sure that I don't miss the target by trying to go too fast. And I'm always happy to see comments, feedback. A lot of people buy and I never hear back from them. Some people are shy, it's okay, but the more you answers or feedback you give me, and maybe some issues can be happening. Up to now it never happened except for one shipping problem, and I solved the problem really the best I could. I'm crossing my fingers that none of the jumping harnesses will be damaged into the shipping process. And as usual, I don't know how to end the videos, but you can give a like if you want. And this is the video about jumping harness. I'm gonna make more videos, especially for the chair harness, compact, how to install it, and the jumping, I'm tired. Well, the other products I make, how to install full body chair harness into different types of chairs. I'm gonna make a video of that too. And I hope that you like this video that explains a little bit more how to use the jumper and why it's made this way, why it's standing up, and why there's some huge discomfort at some point for people. Some people can stay in it for hours, and some people can't stand to be in it for more than 5 minutes. So it really depends if you have proper setup, if you're padded properly, or if you're sitting not on your private parts for males. And of course, I wish I could do any type of suspension frames or one size fits all for adults, but it's pretty much impossible due to huge differences. So this is what I can use in my setup and what I suggest in convention spaces. But peoples are very creative, and as long as it's super strong, I can give the recommendations of what type of bungee cord and carabiners to use to ensure certain level of quality. And this part I'm not selling it because it's way too much complicated, and I cannot go to each houses to evaluate the structure, and I'm not an engineer in structures. I just do my setups. But these are tested, these are safe, these are there are different ways to use it and different ways to store it, different ways, important things to do and what not to do, how to clean it. I invite you to go on the website PaddEx.ca. So there's a section called Important Infos where you can see very relevant points of some things that I have explained here and what not to do as well. And hope to see you next time in the conventions if my health will be good enough. As you can see, we're September 2nd, 2024, and I just get out of the hospital for personal reasons, and I'm super tired, but I'm super sad. There's a part of my team that will be going to one convention, and we are supposed to go to Tomcat 2024 for September. It's in 3 weeks. I hope for the best that my health is going to be improving good enough so I can safely travel and have some fun there. And I have to think about myself first. I'm gonna make a special video about why you see me so often in the hospitals and what's happening, and why am I posting pictures of this. I'm gonna make a special video for that in the next week. So enjoy. If you have one, thank you for buying. If you have recommendations, I'm always open for suggestions. And hope to see you smile in the jumpers or any products that I make and my team makes, because I'm super proud, and it's not something that we see very often in the companies these days. I'm not pushed into making massive production of that harness at a cheaper price, but it breaks after 3 uses. I'm not interested in that. And it has a price, yes, because the materials are mostly Canadian and local, and some parts needs, of course, to be bought and especially made in like in China. But there's some different qualities in China, and these ones I'm buying are the first quality and made for those special projects. So, yep. See you next time. And thanks for listening.